Hey guys, I'm Roden. Welcome to BOMISpirit. This is going to be the weekly intuitive astrology reading. So for the week of April 11th to the 17th, okay? Some people like to have a lot of fun with the astrology portion, and some people like to have a lot of fun with the channeling and tarot session. I hope you really enjoy this reading, whether it's for entertainment or informational purposes, okay? Thank you for liking, subbing, and sharing and commenting and all of that good stuff. Those of you who have been subscribed and something with the YouTube algorithm has changed that, by all means, double check that if you're in that boat. The algorithm is really not happy with my channel because I made so many changes like since I've had a YouTube channel, and especially the last year. And it kind of doesn't really know what to do with me, and it keeps like swiping subscribers out of my channel like huge batches every time I post a video. And then I've had people emailing me about it as well. So just make sure that your settings are to your liking. Your notification settings, your subscription settings are set to your liking. Yeah, so just make sure of that, okay? And don't forget to check out the website, Vimeo, and Patreon for bonus content and extra stuff, all right? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna talk about the astrology portion first. I have all my notes here. We have some really cool energies going on this week that I'm really excited about and really happy about because some of them are really fun. And also just really, really positive overall. There's definitely going to be a lot of continued healing for the month of April, especially under the full moon Libra and some aspects that we have going on here, particularly with Pluto. But it's going to be really good, though. It's always good to heal. It's always good to grow. It's always good to gain some insight about ourselves, right? But let's focus on all this Aries energy first. Excuse me, we have Aries and Aqua energy interacting quite a bit with a lot of aspects that are happening the entire length of the week. We do have the Sun sextile Saturn, the Sun conjunct Pallas Athena, an asteroid, Saturn sextile Pallas Athena. We also have Mars conjunct Juno, another asteroid. We have a lot of asteroid activity because a lot of the asteroids are in Aries and Aquarius. And like I said, right now, Aries and Aquarius are doing kind of a dance here. I'm not going to like beat you over the head with like the details of each of these aspects, but overall, I'm just going to tell you exactly what it's pertaining to. Okay, the Sun is in Aries, Pallas Athena is in Aries, Saturn is in Aquarius, Juno is in Aquarius, Mars is in Aquarius. Okay, a lot of players here. This is going to really help us to work really hard, enable us to actually take action and be very much prioritizing our expression of what we want and kind of be our own leaders here. It's also going to help us with embracing ourselves, especially in the face of adversity. We also have Uranus in Taurus, square Vesta, another asteroid, in Aquarius. That's really going to help us, especially with that part of it. Like, Vesta is all about our sacred missions and sacred purpose, our own creative energy, our sacred feminine energy. That's what Vesta is about. And squaring off with Uranus, it's about owning that in a way that is unique and individual to us, all of who we truly are, in the face of societal expectations and how that has really restricted us to embrace our unique selves and also restricted us to create it within our own feminine energy. You know, I talked about this on Patreon today. So on Patreon, I also do like live chats where we just kind of hang out and we just talk about what's going on in our lives and just kind of support each other, where it's very, very, very casual. And I do talk a lot about what goes on with me personally, but we all do within the chat. And something that has been coming up for me collectively that I was speaking on is the identity of femininity, like what it means to be a woman, especially in the context of expectations of women, of marriage and relationships and children. And, you know, even in modern society, especially like Western modern society, you know, there is also this expectation that women actually make their own way in the world now, right? Compared to like most of time. So it's interesting because we've had these old like really programmed embedded expectations of women, what it means to be a woman, and now we have also this like embedment of individualism, right? So there's this continued battle of all of those ideals, but also at the end of the day we are moving into a time where we don't have to hold anybody to those expectations, let alone ourselves. And there is this almost like redefining our own femininity for women that is about to take place, or that we're in the midst of. You know, it might seem like we've also had like waves of this, but they were bringing this to my attention, that is specifically around creating, following a purpose, and then alongside expectations of women in relationships and child rearing and marriage and that sort of thing, that there's a lot of that that needs to be reworked to really let that fall away, so that we can embrace femininity on a very, very individual niche level. And it does go beyond that, because we're speaking collectively that individually we need to be like owning us, right? But that's just something that was being brought to my attention as I was meditating today. um, So just sharing, but getting back to the energies of the week. So we some things that are going to be really great is to seek advice from elders and mentors, people who are in authority positions. And that's because we have a lot of positive energies between Aries and Aquarius. Aquarius, you know, excuse me. Uh, Aquarius highlights authority figures, usually in a rebellious way, but Aries is leader. Aries is emperor. Aries is number one, right? But because these aspects are so positive, sorry, excuse me. Getting advice from people who are older than you, who hold higher rank than you, have more life experience than you, boss like people, right? Has a really, really positive association with being successful, or getting a lot of good information taken away from that, and even building really good relationships with people in these power positions or elder positions. Sorry, I don't know. All of a sudden, my throat is like so not happy. We do have Mercury creating a lot of aspects right now too, and I don't know if that's just what's going on. I'm just feeling a lot of emphasis around the throat chakra. This is actually my fourth time trying to start this video, because my throat kept like giving out every time I started, but like the second I ended the recording, I was fine. So I think there's something of the energy of this week relating to the throat chakra. But anyway, moving on. So because all this Aries and Aqua energy as well, especially circulating around Saturn in a positive way, promotions, rewards, recognitions, also very likely to happen this week. It also is a big motivating energy and a very disciplinarian energy, because it's Saturn. So if you've been having some difficult tasks, or you've been in planning mode, getting ready to I know it's starting to annoy me, or getting ready to take action on things, this is a great time to do it, especially if it's hard, especially if it's something that's really, really big or challenging to kind of launch or just deal with. A great week for that as well. Okay. With all this Pallas Athena energy too circulating around this. Circulating around the sun and Saturn. Oh, Jesus. Embracing yourself and also what you can do and what you want to go for is also going to be in the context of what you find beautiful, what you can add to the world, what can bring justice and balance to your life and people around you. Because Pallas Athena is very Libran. Pallas Athena is about those things. It's the epitome of beauty, balance, wisdom, justice, that sort of vibe. So total Libra energy there, working with Aries in a great way. What else do we have here? And utilizing wisdom. That's right, because we do have some Mercury influence, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Utilizing your wisdom or demonstrating your wisdom is also going to be really great for not just you, but for other people at this time. Okay, wisdom of your unique experience, right? Not how you have been like everyone else, not how you have gone through things like everyone else, not what you've learned the same things as everyone else, but something unique that you can bring to the table, right? It's like the only way we actually learn is if we actually have some new things to learn, right? We can listen out the same things over and over and over again. Excuse me, but that doesn't add to our wisdom, so to speak. So bringing your unique self to the table is going to be beneficial for everybody right now. Okay. Now, like I said, we do have some Mercury stuff going on too. So Venus, Mercury, and Uranus are all working together in a really positive way, which was really cool to see when I was going over my notes. It was like, oh, all right, like we need some of this right now. I'm always down for energies like this, especially when Uranus is at the center of it, because Uranus is such like a, you know, a shakeup sort of energy that most of the time it really creates an unsettled energy for people or circulates around change. But these three working together, it's just going to be really, really positive. Okay. Um, excuse me. Venus is in Pisces, and Mercury and Uranus are in Taurus. So you have Mercury and Uranus together in the same house in Taurus, working together in a conjunction. And then you have Uranus sextile Venus, and you have Mercury sextile Venus. So you see what I'm saying? It's like they're all working together. So Taurus, let's talk about Taurus for a second, because we are in North Node Taurus. Excuse me. Period of time. I'm gonna try hard not to get annoyed by this. I'm already kind of there, so I apologize. I'm getting a little distracted by it. So with Taurus, Taurus is the senses, it's the body, it's self-care, it's the very fun and sensual way that we kind of feel good and can feel kind of just even high on feeling and high on sensation, right? Intoxicating stimulation. That's Taurus. Taurus is also money. Taurus is also housing. It's stability, investments. It's that kind of vibe, right? And then you have Pisces. Pisces also likes to have fun. Pisces is about love and compassion, empathy, right? Intuition, psychic awareness, dreams, that sort of vibe. So what we have here is a culmination of these energies creating exciting, fun experiences and relationships that are full of inspiration, new ideas, and satisfaction. So with Venus at play, it's really pulling in like the relationship factor, where you can experience, like, have very spiritual experiences with people. They have very romantic experiences with people where it's just like open and just feels really, really good. And then you have this Mercury Uranus component where there's such a need for stimulation. There's this desire to have like a new way of feeling something, a new way of, again, like satisfying your senses, whether it's through food, like taste, or it's through touch, like through sex and desire, or even music, like through hearing. I do think that there are going to be a lot of relationships at this time that are going to be very thought provoking, especially if you're meeting new people. This really leans towards also bringing new people into your environment or bringing in new energy and circumstances within your current relationships. There's going to be a lot of self-care here because Taurus, again, is very physical and it is about the body and it's about feeling good. So, because it's Venusian in nature. So, emphasis on like, how do I say this? Like decorating the vessel, right? Like makeup, jewelry, clothes, hair, like that sort of vibe. Even just taking care of the body, like physical exercise and eating better food, eating really good quality food. It's just going to be very yummy. All of these energies working together, very, very yummy. Okay. Now, when it comes to relationships with these aspects, excuse me, it can lean towards having flings very easily, but if you're somebody who likes to have a lot of passion, a lot of fun, and a lot of freedom in your relationships, it can actually lean towards finding a very compatible match in that realm. But if you're not that kind of individual, it's going to be more like a fling sort of situation if you're meeting anyone new under romantic circumstances or flirty dating circumstances. But really a great time to make friends, though, because Taurus is loyal. Taurus is about commitment, and Mercury loves to communicate, loves to talk, and Uranus is always looking for new and exciting things. So this is also a really great time to make friends, first and foremost, even business relationships. And because we have we have two sextiles here with these three planets. Excuse me, really positive outcomes regarding money and finances. Okay, so again, all really positive. These energies are coming in towards the end of the week, though. So I'd keep that in mind. They're going to still be here and prevalent the next week from the 18th to the, can I do math right now? The 24th of April. Okay, so that week it will be very present. Now, moving on to some challenging energy that's coming in at the end of the week. We have the Sun in Aries square Pluto in Capricorn, and the Sun in Aries sextile Juno in Aquarius. That, like, both of these together speak of power. and this has been a long running theme and it's clearly not going away. But this is about establishing healthy confidence and personal power, even if it means being triggered to do so. Okay. That the triggers are probably going to come by way of Pluto, where any conflict or tower moments, chaos can really trigger you very easily around this time to feel like you need to have control or feel like you need to have power in some way. And it's going to really, highlight your fears around like abuse, your fear of death, fear of being neglected, fear of being controlled, manipulated, that sort of stuff. So it's just an opportunity to I'm hearing humiliation with that as well. So it's just an opportunity that, like, if you do get triggered and like you start to feel like you need to control or get into like a power seat or power position, it's like very ego trigger central city, right? It's a time to just sit with yourself and unmask that a little bit and just let yourself go there. Like, it's okay to go there. It's going to be really positive for you to go there because there can be a payoff with Pluto in this position, especially with Juno also sextile the sun, because the sun is in both of these aspects. So it can be really rewarding. That's the word. Like, there's a word here. It can be really rewarding to unmask those fears and triggers as they come up. Okay. What else? What else? What else? That sun sextile Juno. Juno is about highlighting unhealthy power dynamics so that you can understand how your freedom is being compromised. That's kind of how I like to look at Juno. Juno really relates to the protection of women and also the goddess of marriage, partnerships, but it has such a shadowy energy and shadowy connotation. And with it sitting in Aquarius, it's like it doesn't want to tolerate any kind of abuse. It's not going to tolerate any kind of misuse of power, even if you're the one doing it, right? So like, but that's how I look at Juno. But in this positive position with the sun in Aries, it will show you how you have been powerful all along, how you've had the power all along to really unleash yourself from these fears, from these doubts, from these triggers. You've had the power all along to be as free as you want and as uniquely you as you want. Okay. So, like I said, overall, very, very positive week. Now, as far as the energies I would look at to see how this is affecting you, I would really keep an eye on Aquarius. Aquarius, 25 to 29 degrees, I would keep an eye on. That's where you might start to feel triggered, actually. Because Aquarius is the rebel and it is really in relation to authority, but also being yourself. And this is all about owning your power, no matter what adversity you face. Okay. So I would keep an eye on Aquarius 25 to 29 degrees in your personal houses to see where that will personally affect you. Okay. Also Capricorn 25 to 29 degrees. Excuse me. Sorry. Possible trigger where it's almost like Aquarius will be the push to be yourself and it's going to create that friction, but the wound itself might actually sit more in Capricorn 25 to 29 degrees. So for example, I'll use my chart as an example. I always use my chart as an example. For me, Pluto is transiting my 8th house, and for Aquarius 25 to 29 degrees, that's my 8th house. I believe that's my 8th house. Or is it my 9th house? Oh, shoot. I think that borders both. I think that borders both my 8th house and my 9th house. So I'm going to chop that up to learning about shadow, learning about spiritual healing. If we're straddling both, right? And I just know my life. Could also even relate to like taxes and other institutions and things like that because 8th house energy. But I'm going to chop it up to that. So this push and need for me to be more embracing of myself and authentic of myself might be exactly what's forcing me into uncomfortable circumstances within my 7th house, which is my relationships, my business contracts, things like that. And so, if I don't own all of myself and then I get into a situation with a colleague or my partner, they can really trigger the shit out of me, basically is what I'm getting at and how to explain that. Okay. Now as far as like all of this fire and motivation and drive to go and lead and to go and create and go and do. That's where we're looking at Aries. And I would look at Aries 20 to 25 degrees for that. And then, let's see here. And then for all that like fun, exciting, new, stimulating situations, again, doesn't have to be all about relationships. You could just go and have your own adventure and go have fun and go mingle and, eat good food and travel, whatever, and just have a really good time. You can even go like, just take care of your body. You can go to the spa. That's just really fun, good times right there. Okay. But for that, I would look at Taurus 10 to 15 degrees. Taurus 10 to 15 degrees. You could even look at Pisces for that. I would actually look at Pisces for that too. Both of those are really climaxing at a 13-degree point, but you could look at 10 to 15 degrees. Also, Jupiter is still conjunct Neptune in Pisces. That's also going on all week here. Okay. And I do believe isn't that also peaking? Yeah, they go exact conjunct on the 12th of April. Yeah, they go exact conjunct on the 12th of April. And I've been talking about those energies for a bit, so I don't want to like bore you guys with that. But Jupiter conjunct Neptune, that is spiritual development, spiritual growth, letting yourself kind of run away with possibilities, letting yourself be open to different ideas. It's also a time to be very much like opening your heart space, working on opening your heart space, working on healing, having compassion, and also letting yourself dream big. There's also this vibe like during this month as well where manifesting, being in flow with your reality is going to be a little easier. So what I mean by that is like you think of something and suddenly it's in your environment, right? So you can call that manifesting, or you can just call that being in tune with your environment and all things, right? And like I said, we have the full moon in Libra on the 16th. Mars also moves into Pisces on the 14th of April. And at the very beginning of the week, Saturn is square the North Node. Saturn square the North Node is still challenging us to really be ourselves in the face of adversity and societal expectations. Okay. That was a lot. I am still getting used to this setup, so I apologize if I get a little distracted or I get a little scattered. I do like it. I do like it a lot. Just getting used to it is all. All right, I want to pull cards. Let's pull cards. I'm going to get a sip of water, though, first. They're already showing me a card. We'll see if it comes out. They're already showing me a card. They're showing me a throat chakra card. From the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. There's a lot to say. There's a lot to say. There's a lot to express. There's a lot to show. I'm really feeling that Aries energy behind it too. This is not a week to hold back, by the way. April 11th to 17th, not a week to hold back. And if you get triggered along the way, that's okay. Just take accountability. Just stay aware of yourself and deal with it. Just deal with it. Right? We're all adults. We all need to be responsible for our own emotions. Sorry, I gotta stop. I gotta talk about this. I think this is also a big lesson coming with the North Node Taurus period of time where we need to be accountable for ourselves. We need to be accountable for ourselves. We can't be accountable for other people. We can't take on the responsibilities of other people. We can't like lash out at people and then just be like, well, it's fine. Or feel so justified in doing so, like you had a right to do so and be stuck in your ego about it. Like we need to be accountable for ourselves as human beings. It's like it's not the only way to have progress, but it's a big factor. I'd say it's a very big puzzle piece that could really help everybody have some more progress and have some more compassion. Right? If we can see people take accountability for themselves, it's easier for us to take accountability for ourselves, and it's easier to be honest and open and vulnerable with people, right? And that's being human, and that's being okay with ourselves, and that's being accepting that, hey, we're all just trying our best, and as long as we're honest along the way, that's all we can ask of people. So I just think it's something that's really big, especially when we're talking about resources. As we know, Uranus is in Taurus, and with the North Node in Taurus, it's shaking up our sense of stability. It's shaking up how we value anything and what our values are, and that's changing. And even the things that we do value, like money, food, that sort of thing, and how we survive, those things are even going through a lot of changes and being challenged right now. And that's only going to continue, especially as we go through Lionsgate. I believe it's on the 31st of July, actually, like during the portal. Uranus is going to go exact conjunct with the North Node. It's going to activate the shit out of the North Node, is basically what I'm saying. And it's happening during the Lionsgate portal. Okay. And that's upcoming. Regardless of what changes come of that, it's going to be big. It's going to be big. Anyway, taking accountability and not expecting other people to take accountability for us. Moving on. Any messages or insights regarding this week? April 11th to the 17th. For April 11th to the 17th. For April 11th to the 17th. April 11th to the 17th. I'm hearing there's a lot to say, there's a lot to say, there's a lot to say. There's a lot to say. Don't hold back, say it. It's, wow, that's funny. So we have the lamb. The lamb, when the lamb comes out, the lamb's about listening. So like, there's so much to say. There's so much to be heard. The lamb is about listening, but it's also about taking in new information as you're going on new experiences. It's accepting that you are a novice at something, and to be humble about it. To be humble about it. So if you got a lot to say, shit. Hold on. So if you got a lot to say, people will listen. People might be more open and amenable to listening right now. You might even be listening a lot to what other people have to say. So you could be experiencing both ends of that. Any other messages or insights for April 11th to the 17th? And I definitely feel new relationships. I know I already talked about that, but I'm starting to really feel that, especially with Pisces at play. And then we have all this like Aries, Aqua, Saturn, Sun energy too. There might be a lot of meeting mentors or meeting people who are meant to teach you a lot of lessons. Embrace it. It's part of the life. It's part of the journey. But yeah, a lot of expressing going on and a lot of listening going on. It feels very instructive. Ooh, we've got the deer. I love the deer. The deer is feminine energy. It's the feminine principle. It's the mother card in this deck, while the elk is the father. It's nurturing. Doesn't that just feel like protecting? Like protecting a little baby, like protecting a lamb, protecting a babe. That's how that's feeling to me. I'm feeling healing energy with that too. There's a protection mode going on here, but I like it because it's kind of soft. It's not super aggressive. It's not aggravating. It's not aggravating. It actually has a lot of integrity, is what I want to say. It has a lot of integrity. So, leader. Thank you. Leader. You have a lot to say as a deer, and the lambs are listening. You have a lot to say as the deer, and the lambs are listening. There is a protection vibe with this too. There's a sense of safety. There's a sense of trust that the lambs have towards the deer. The lamb feels like many people. The lamb is not just one person. It's not just one person. Whatever the deer is saying, the lambs are trusting it. The lambs are listening. And and it's almost like an exchange. It's like, I feel like the deer is offering protection, offering nurturing, offering a safety zone. It just feels really good. Some of you might be really connecting to a child, or if you're a child, you're really connecting to your parents, specifically more like a mother-like energy. But it's very nice. It feels really, really, really nice. Feels really nice. Not taking those. Yeah, new stuff, man. We got the Earthworm. When the Earthworm card comes out, it's indicating that there is some new circumstance that still feels kind of like not solidified, and very green. Again, all this energy of being very new at something or very green at something. So, deers, whatever you're speaking on, you might be taking on a new role that you're not used to taking. And again, people are listening, and you almost have like the people following you. It could be one person. It doesn't feel like one person though. It feels like many. It can be work related. It can be family related. It's almost like you're adopting people, which is kind of interesting. Um, yeah, I feel like that really hits home the message even more. It's like, especially for those of you where it's a work situation, or maybe you're just, preaching, maybe you're on social media. It's like they're not you, but there's an affinity, there's a resonance. There's a resonance. Some of you might actually feel like you're taking on the role of a parent. Some of you might feel that way. And it is new for you. It's new ground for you, but you're excited because it's almost like you finally made the step to do it. You finally made the step to do it. You finally made the step to step up into a leadership role because it does suit you. Any other messages or insights for April 11th to the 17th? Wow. Yeah. We do also have some attractive energies. The moth just came out, just because we do have Venus and Pisces working with Mercury and Uranus in that like really positive way. And Aries in and of itself is also very magnetic, along with Aquarius. And now we have moth. Moth is just that. It's attraction. It's magnetism. That's what I'm saying. It's like whatever you're saying whatever you're saying in this position, as you're putting yourself in this position, people are drawn to you. They're listening to you. And maybe even if you've already known them, like if this is more of like a family situation or again, work situation, they're listening to you with new ears because something about you has shifted to where you've taken on this next step. You've taken on this elevated position energetically. It's like you have more integrity. You have more of this trusting energy where people can recognize that's someone with a really good heart. That's somebody who was really speaking their truth. That is somebody who has integrity. I can be safe with them. I can hear what they have to say. I can trust them. I can follow them. And again, for some of you, this is just between like even a parent-child dynamic. And even though it's really new for the deers out there who are watching, because some of you guys might just be the lambs, but it could be really new for the deers who are watching and kind of uncomfortable, that it's almost like, again, moth to a flame, literally moth to a flame. Like people can't stop listening. It's captivating. It's captivating. Overall, we do have the frog. So we have some emotional cleansing here and a very healing energy with frog coming out. Whatever you're saying as the deer, maybe you're helping people heal. Maybe you're helping people get rid of stuff. Some of you guys, that could be the case, but I feel like you actually have shed something, and it feels like something embedded in the ego, embedded in wounding, in order to elevate to being the deer. Okay, this is interesting. This is an interesting reading. I'm getting excited. Where am I putting these? I'm gonna put these over here. I know you guys can't really see them. Oh, I guess I could probably. Yeah, I could do that. Okay. All right. Moving on. Where are we going next? Where are we going next? Yeah, we're going to do Dreams of Gaia. Make sure I got it all. Okay. Any messages or insights? April 11th to the 17th for the collective. Any messages or insights for the collective? April 11th to the 17th. I was like, oh, look what's on the bottom. King of Earth. Elk energy. I think there's literally even an elk on there. Yep. Look at that. I feel like some of you that, sorry, let me get a little closer. Some of you, I almost feel this, it's between a new person. So again, take this as it resonates because it's energy and it's going to manifest differently for different people, right? So take it as it resonates for you. Some of you, it is about stepping into that role for a group of people, or even for a child, or your parent stepping into that position for you, no matter how old you are, right? And it's very healing, or you've had healing facilitate you elevating into this deer energy. But it's very loving, it's very nurturing, it's very healing. Some of you are actually doing this for yourself as well, almost like you are moving into such a state of empowerment that you can really deal with some of your inner child stuff, and you can go into this rebirthed energy, into more adult, more mature, more secure, and more empowered, even though it's shaky, but it's also attracting a lot of beautiful energies to you. Others of you, I'm starting to get this pull towards a person. And it's very healing. It feels very intense. You might feel like you're actually seen for the first time. That's an intense feeling. Anyway, so just telling you different ways that I'm getting it. Any other messages or insights? Because that's the thing. It's like, I kind of want to talk about this a little bit. Almost happens for a second. I'm like, what's a little bit? I read energy. Okay. I read energy. And energy is energy. The way it manifests in your physical reality, as far as like dealing with relationships and people, when I'm reading for a collective, it will manifest differently because energy is not form in and of itself. It's a frequency, it's a vibration, right? Because some people ask me, like, how can all these things be happening? They're happening for different people. So please use your discernment when you're watching my readings. I try my best to tell you all the different ways that I can sense that it can manifest. But please use your own discernment with that. Okay. Any messages or insights for April 11th to the 17th? Any messages or insights for April 11th to the 17th? Let's see here. Wow. We have the Three of Air with Love card. Sorry about the glare, guys. Try my best. Three of Air in this deck speaks of education. It speaks of learning, whether it's new skills, new thought forms, new experiences. And love is exactly how it sounds. It's love. It's love, which the deer brings all day. The deer is the ultimate mother, and she brings love all day long. Love and nurturing and care all day long. Okay? I feel like some of you, it's like whatever you're speaking on, whatever you have a lot to say about. Sorry, this thing always like loses focus. Whatever you have to say, whatever you have to share, it's coming from a very true place, a very authentic place, and probably from a place where you've learned to have more love, just embodying more love in general, or having more of an open heart because you've done some cleansing and you've done some purging. Some of you are literally offering that to people in a healing capacity. So you understand what I'm saying here, right? And other people are learning about this energy and learning through this vibration through a deer energy. So decide again how this is coming for you, but it's being exposed to unconditional love, being exposed to it or giving it, no matter what side of the table you're on. And in order to give it, you have to move into the energy and learn it. It's funny, we were just talking about this on Patreon earlier today. Any other messages or insights for April 11th to the 17th? Am I taking all of these? Yes, they said yes, I am. Ooh, it's a lot. Is that the 4? Yeah. So we have 4 of Earth in reverse. Healing in reverse. Feeling all that power energy. Yeah. Then we have intuition in reverse with youth in reverse. This is closed sight. This is a closed sight, closed psychic sight. a lack of clarity, and it's almost like an inability to look forward. Yeah, thank you. They said yes. This is an energy that literally is that. It's an inability to look forward because of a feeling of being stuck or being afraid or being wounded, not feeling optimistic, especially that Four of Earth in reverse too. Four of Earth in reverse really speaks of lacking security, stability, lacking those resources. Healing in reverse is there's a need to heal, right? And someone's resisting that. Intuition in reverse and youth in reverse. Intuition and youth always like both speak of sight and being able to see. Okay. Both speak of clarity, but youth is specifically like a Three of Wands energy, like being able to try new things. All of these are in reverse. This is something that I think that the deer has recently overcome, and it almost feels like a teaching. It almost feels like the deer can show others how to get out of this energy. And some of you, like I said, it's just between you and you, where you're dealing with your stuff, you're dealing with this part of you, and you're working past it. You're working past it by embracing unconditional love for yourself and just the vibration of love as an energy, even though it's uncomfortable. But I do feel like people who are in this energy are getting help. And that's what I was saying with Venus and Pisces working with Mercury and Uranus. Those are new relationships. They're thought provoking. They can cause change for people. They can cause healing for people with that Piscean vibe there too. It doesn't just have to be all fun and games. It could be good for the soul. Okay. Any other messages or insights for April 11th to the 17th? Desire. Not surprised. Let's see, what's this? Wow. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So now we have desire. Desire. I was talking about that a lot with this Taurus energy aspecting Venus of all things. Then we have the child. The child is the inner child. The child is our raw, unjaded passion and curiosity and wanting to play and just be. And that is the vibration of love. That is the energy of unconditional love. It's also a very authentic part of us that we were born into this world with individually. And it's like, hey, that's still there. That's still present. And we can indulge in that. We can give into that. We can nurture that part of ourselves. And that's also part of this week. That's an energy that's been here, right, for a bit of like embracing our authentic selves or our true selves. But here it is, like, hey, go have fun with it. Go have fun with it. Instead of sitting in fear and doubt and suffering and not willing to look up and not willing to try, not willing to move, go and play, go and experience, go be stimulated. With the Nine of Earth in reverse, this is saying that there's been a tendency of not taking care of the self, not prioritizing the self, and self-sacrificing for others. This is time to not do that anymore, okay? It's time to indulge in that part of you. Indulge in that part of you. Unmask this and allow, if you meet like a deer energy this week, allow them to help you with this. Just talk to them, just be in their energy, and just being in their energy of love, of they've accepted themselves and they're accepting all of you, and they're just existing and they're just vibrating like super high and they feel really nurturing and they feel really yummy and they feel really good. Like, let them teach you that. Let them teach you how to move into that energy. Learn from that, right? Yeah, it literally feels like the deer has learned this, and now the deer is spreading it around in a really positive way. And some of you will be lambs that turn into deers. Focus. Honey. Overall, we have the Four of Swords, the Four of Air in this deck. Underneath that, we do have Faith in reverse. This tells me that there is too much of a focus on restriction and of routine and planning and organizing, to the point where you kind of lose spontaneity. And it's almost like it's a control thing. Thank you. They're telling me control. Like having so much control and rigidity around routine actually is because you don't really have a strong sense of trust. You don't have a strong sense of faith, of belief that things will be fine and that you will be okay. There's a lot of like fear energy here and scarcity mindset here with this. You can have your planned stuff, for certain things. There's nothing wrong with having a plan, but you also have to understand that like life needs excitement. Life needs the spontaneous. Life needs the unexpected. And having a little room for that every day, along with room to schedule things to make sure you're on top of responsibilities, is balance, right? And allowing for spontaneity is also self-care. That's also self-care. It's letting your inner child, that very raw, authentic part of you that you were born into this world with, like it's letting that part of you live. It's letting that part of you out. It's letting that part of you be nurtured. Okay. I'm liking this deer energy though. It's really nice. Where are we at? Oh, we're almost at it. 45 minutes. Jeez. Okay. I think I have to move on to advice then, if that's the case. Oh. I'm just deciding if I should. I feel like I should. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go with shamanic healing for this one. Any advice for April 11th to the 17th? They're drawing me into the moth. When you move into this energy, when you move into that, you become very attractive to all kinds of energies. Be mindful of who you're attracting. Be mindful of who you let kind of glom onto you. Okay. Doesn't mean they're bad people. They just might not always be healthy for you. Right. So when you're circulating in this energy of love, you can still interact with whoever you want to interact with. Just make sure you have good boundaries, and not in a way that's like aggressive boundaries, like boundaries from love, boundaries from looking out for yourself, and boundaries of like having compassion for other people. Okay. And it's not to sugarcoat. It's not to like handle people with kid gloves. It's not about that. Just be mindful of who you're attracting to you. Okay. All right. A super bright light will attract everything. If all of a sudden there was like this huge gold beaming light, like coming out of the middle of the United States, there'd be a lot of people taking notice and flock into it, right? Good, bad, and dysfunctional alike. Am I taking these? No. Okay. Any advice for April 11th to the 17th? Truth. I like that card coming out. Truth. Live by your truth. Live by who you are. Because why not? Because why not? And I really wanted to put it actually over on these cards. This to me just feels like pain. It feels like wounds. It feels like programming. It feels like struggle. It's just that feeling of not feeling safe, not feeling secure, feeling like you can't move forward, feeling like you don't have the clarity on even what you're feeling or how to do that. It's like it's kind of a lost, stuck feeling. And this deer energy is the way out of that. Again, whether you move into the deer energy because you're doing this work for yourself, you're prioritizing your true self, your inner child, and having fun and indulging in what is right for you, and finally moving into certain things in your life or certain roles in your life that you've wanted and you've just been held back, or you're dealing with a deer and they're helping you, or you become the deer and you're helping lambs, whatever it is, right? It's like that can be stripped away. This can be washed away. I want to see if other ones want to come out. I'm going to still read the truth card. Any other pieces of advice? For April 11th to the 17th. Ancient wisdom. I would say ancient wisdom goes hand in hand with love as well, because ancient wisdom is, especially with truth, it's seeing how everything ebbs and flows, how everything is connected, even being in flow with nature, being grounded with nature. It's being able to see past the superficial, past the ego. It's ancient wisdom. Overall, psychic development. Excuse me. It's getting that clarity back, getting the connection to you back, getting connection to your intuition back. So nice to see that there. I'm going to read truth, though. I feel like that's the most important one to read to you guys. I'm still dealing with this whole microphone situation. Okay. Glare. Okay. I'm like trying really hard to like get, okay, that's okay. The ego proudly surveys its domain from such a high perch that all pertaining to the situation is revealed. The shadows hide nothing from his keen vision. Once you can remove yourself from the muck that lower vibrations keep you in, you can attain a viewpoint that enables you to see the truth of the matter. This card advises you to search for the truth of the situation, regardless of the emotions it brings up. Are you or someone connected to you unconsciously suppressing the truth? Hiding from the truth can only intensify the lesson later on. Okay. All right, guys. Oh, excuse me. So, my dears and my lambs, I hope that you guys got a lot out of this, and I hope you also enjoyed it as well. Don't forget to check out Vimeo and Patreon and the website, and also don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and share. And I will see you guys very soon. Take care.